Hey, Gary Baker with PublisherReport.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 tools that you can use to get started creating activity books that you can publish on Amazon KDP, and you can start today. And the first tool is going to be a tool we use on Amazon. It's going to be a Chrome extension, and it's from Self-Publishing Titans. Of course, if you want to get this extension, there'll be a link in the description. You can pop over to selfpublishingtitans.com. And the one you're looking for is Huge Keyword Search Suggestion Expander and One-Click Downloader. It's simple and easy to click here and just download. And then when you do and install that on Chrome, what you'll get is this right here. You'll get the ability to type in and look for things like activity books. And when you type in activity books, you're going to get tons and tons of searches for things that you may never have thought of. And these are all things that people have typed into Amazon and they're actually looking for. Because here's the deal. You can think about creating all day and you can do tons of research, and research is good, but you have to move on to the next step. And that's the other 2 tools I'm going to show you. But before we move on to those other 2 tools, let's take a second and find something that we think we can create. Because if we don't think we can actually create it, we'll never start creating, and therefore we'll never have anything to publish. And the entire point here at PublisherReport.com is to create simple books, even as simple as this one, that was created with all the 3 tools that I'm going to show you today to create something simple and easy and get something published. So let's go back to Amazon, and where we left off was activity books. And you can see here we have activity books 4. And we're going to type down activity books A. You're going to see adult activity book, toddler activity book. You're going to see some other suggestions here. Let's go ahead and go down one more and just type B. You're going to see this is going to change a little bit. Adult activity book pack, adult activity book in Spanish. Let's change this up a little bit and think about something different other than the word activity book. And let's just go with word. Now you can see we have word search, word puzzles. Go down here, word search puzzles for adults, word search large print. Let's just spacebar here and use that same alphabet method that we were just doing. So we'll go A. You can see some different things here. We'll go ahead and go B. Word board with white letters, word buttons, word biblical commentary. Word board games, word board letters only. Let's jump forward a little bit. Let's go L. Here's something interesting. Word L, word lights, word ladders grade 6 through 8, word ladders grade 1 through 2. So this is focused here and led us to the idea of word ladders for certain grades. This is a great point that I want to bring up when you're doing research. When you're doing the research, and you're researching for something like activity book could be anything from coloring book to puzzle books to word books. And that's why I was using that alphabet method, ABC, inside of the tool from Self-Publishing Titans, the word search expander Chrome extension. And you can see it led us to something called word ladders. Now at this point in the research, we're just going to simply click on word ladders and find out what word ladders is and see if it's something that we can create as an activity book. So we're back here and we're back at word L, and we found this word ladders. So we'll go ahead and click on word ladders. And when the results load for word ladders, you can see 1 of 16 of over 1,000 results for word ladders. Of course, this is under category all, but I want to focus in on the Chrome extension from Self-Publishing Titans that you see here. You're going to see a keyword niche score, and you're going to see it's 62%, and it has a yellow dot. There's a question mark right here. If you hover over that question mark, this is going to be really small. But what it says is, it says the algorithm is specifically tailored towards books as its first priority, and it uses all the data points. But you want to focus in on that this tool is looking for a book score with niches of 63 and up. But it also says, see what works for you. Number of results, 1,234. You have your average BSR, which is your best seller rank. Average reviews, average price, all given to you right here inside of the Self-Publishing Titans Chrome extensions that you installed. So go ahead and install those and you'll be able to get that information and you'll be able to see it all at a glance. That's why I recommend this tool and say that it is one of the tools that you need. And now we can scroll down and look at what Word Ladders is. If you didn't know what it is, you can see that it is an activity. Basically, they're creating pages, as you can see by the covers of the books right here. Of course, those are all sponsored, but you can see here is a daily Word Ladders book, and it has a BSR of 10,988. We'll go ahead and we'll look inside this book. And you can see inside this book as a table of contents with different word ladders, Eat Your Vegetables, Money Matters, outerwear. Scroll down. Let's see if we can actually see what a word ladder is. It explains what word ladders are. Let's say our first word ladder begins with the word walk. Has directions here for using word ladders, tips for working with word ladders, and then here's an actual word ladder. So this looks like something that we could definitely create. Now be careful with the term word ladders and do research to make sure that that's not trademarked. But again, it's something that we most likely could create simply following the activity itself and creating something like a word ladder workbook and possibly calling it something else, but still targeting that term of word ladder either through our keywords in the back end or using Amazon ads, which is an effective way to actually market your book. Don't get hung up on all that just yet. We're still in the creation phase, or we're still in the research phase before we start creation. So what we've done here is we found an idea. So the first tool that we used was Self-Publishing Titans. Now we're going to move on to tool number 2. That is a must-have tool when we're creating these types of books, because as you can see right here, this book has these little images here of vegetables. For example, in this case of Eat Your Vegetables word ladder. So where do we find these types of images? My go-to resource for these types of images is Creative Fabrica. Of course, if you don't have an account, there's a link in the description. You can check that out. They also have freebies right here. You can check those out to get an idea of what's going on by clicking all freebies. And you can see the types of free things that are given away right here. And you can download those for free, and you can definitely check out and see if there's any images right here under free graphics. And you might be able to find something for free. For example, there's a Halloween coloring book right here. There's some cute pillow characters. Of course, make sure you check the licensing on all these to make sure that the free ones you can use. Of course, it says here they include their commercial license, so make sure you understand what the commercial license is. Now that we've seen Creative Fabrica, let's go back to Amazon real quick. And working on this word ladders idea, let's close this and let's go ahead and go back up to word ladders and let's narrow this down a little bit. You can see grades 1 through 2. You can also see word ladders K through 1 or K-1. Let's go ahead and say word ladders kindergartner or kindergarten, and let's focus in on that right there, because what I want to do is I want to find a book right here that is using this concept of word ladders, but with the focus on something for kindergarten. As you can see right here, here's a sponsored product called Sight Word Poetry Pages. Here you can see here's another book called Fun Word Ladders. This is by a different author. So again, do your research, but this might be open to the fact that you could do or use this term word ladders. But here you see a different style book. We'll go ahead and we'll open this book. And here you can see the cover. We'll scroll down. You can see this is for 1 through 2. You can see here that find the answers to the clues and the missing letters. And you can see some images here. Enjoyable. What does the word enjoyable mean? F-U-N. Obviously that means fun. Now this definitely looks like something we can create. So let's take a look at the third tool and see if we can create something like you see here on this page. Because the entire point of this video is to first do your research with the first tool that I showed you, Self-Publishing Titans, to get a lot of those keyword ideas. Also look at the competition. The second tool is to find the images that you're going to need to create the tool. The third tool is going to be the tool that you can use to simply and easily create a book, just like the ones we found during our research phase using that first tool from Self-Publishing Titans. Again, we take a look at this here in Amazon. This is the type of book we're going to create. Let's pop over to the third tool. And the third tool is Canva. We'll go ahead and click Create a Design, Custom Dimensions. We'll go ahead and go 8.5 by 11 inches, as this is a standard book. Of course, I say standard book. Of course, I created this square book right here. And that's the thing you have to do when you're doing your research, is take a look and what makes sense for the age group or what's going to be on the interior of your book. A square book, the word ladders probably isn't going to make as much sense as an 8.5 by 11, which is going to be a more standard size book. So make sure you make that part of your research process. And now let's go back to Canva. So here we are in Canva. And of course, if we wanted to create a word ladder book that looks something like this, you can see this is literally just an image of a ladder that we could easily recreate here in Canva. I'm not saying copy. What I'm saying is take a look and see what you can create based upon the research that you've done. We'll go ahead and we'll grab a line here, and then we'll go ahead and make that right inside that. We'll copy this, paste a new line, drag it over. Of course, you can make this as big as or as small as you think it makes sense. Then we can use a dotted line right here. And we could say, okay, we'll just snap this in like that. Then we'll just copy and paste a few of those. And now what you're creating, I think you can see what's happening, is we are creating a ladder. Then we'd simply get these spaced out the way we want. And I think you can see that's coming together quite well. Then of course, go back and you can see here they just added letters and underscores, and you can see here antonym for near would be far. So you could easily create this type of book inside of Canva by finishing out, going over here, grabbing some text, click that there, go ahead and say F right there. Of course, you could change the font, change the colors if you're making a black and white book. Then you go back to elements, grab another line, whatever makes sense for your design as you are being creative and coming up with something that is going to be intriguing and fun. And you would simply just create that right there. Go ahead, copy that, create another one. And as you can see, we're just using that example of fun. And then you would have this right there. And you would say, move this down a little bit, snap it into the grid. There you go. Now you have FUN, and then you can fill in your bubbles over here. Come into elements, look at the different types of shapes. Then you can easily play around with that. Of course, you would have to make sure this fits, so you would need to rework these sizes and these text sizes, the ladder size, the image size here. Of course, you could delete that easily, and you could bring this one over, which would probably be easier to work with. Then you can move that up here, and then you could create that just very simply right there. Go over here, add your text in right there, and you could say something like having a good time. And then there you go, you move that down and you can see right there, now you've created, or you started to create something like having a good time, FUN. Having a good time equals fun. You can see the creation process is really going to be simple once you get the idea inside of Canva, what you want and how you want it to look. Of course, it's not that complicated to just go ahead and make different things that you see here. Of course, going back to the idea of using Creative Fabrica, we're looking at these little icons right here, and we're focused in on kindergartners. So let's go back to Creative Fabrica. And what we'll do now is we'll type in kindergarten, and we'll simply hit return on that and search for kindergarten. Now you can see all the different things that are kindergarten focused, and you can see right here kindergarten school equipment. So we'll go ahead and click on one of those. This is an equipment doodle. You can see here this equipment doodle comes with PNGs and high resolution JPEGs. We'll go ahead and download that. Of course, commercial usage allowed. Make sure you click on that and read everything that they have here about their licenses, so you know the file that you're downloading down here in the left hand corner is something you can use and exactly how you can use it to sell your book on Amazon. When that file opens, you'll see it right here. We'll go ahead and double click it to open it up. You can see we're going to have some PNGs right here. Go ahead and open those up. We'll take a look at those. Now you can see the types of images that we have that we could easily add to our book, and we'll go ahead and we'll do that right now. So we're back inside of Canva. We're going to go to Uploads. We're going to go to Upload Media. We're going to upload from our device, which is our computer. We're going to open that folder, kindergarten school equipment. Going to go under PNG. Then we're going to look at the icons here, and we're simply just going to grab something that we think would work. For example, this drum set. Then when that uploads, we'll click on the drum set. You can see the drum set is now imported into our editor right here on our screen. Now you can see that we've added having a good time, and we have a drum set here. Of course, now what we need to do is we need to focus on making this within the limits or the boundaries. Of course, you can come over to File, you can come down to Show Margins, and then you'll see a light dotted line here now, and you can see the margins that you have to work inside of the 8.5 by 11. Of course, when you're talking about creating a book, you have a little more leeway on that, but simply at this point, you would just be sizing this word ladder activity book down to exactly what you want. We'll go ahead and delete these, move these elements over here, get them inside of that margin or as close to the margin as possible. You could even delete this box if you think it doesn't make sense to have that, and the drum set if it makes sense, and then there you go, you'd be creating your word ladder. Now you can see what we started to create simply by dragging and dropping and adding text, adding images from Creative Fabrica. You're getting the idea. If we go back to Amazon, you can see here we are building the same type of word ladder product that you see here. Of course, we need to come up with a theme, but that's all part of the creative process. Of course, go back to Creative Fabrica, and of course, now you can go to download. You can download that as a PDF print, high quality multi-page document. Click download. That's going to create the PDF right there. Go ahead and close this window. You can see here in the left corner, there's our PDF. We'll go ahead and open that. And when that opens, you can see that we have a document that's starting to come together. That would be the interior of our book. So there you go, 3 tools that you can use right now to get started easily and simply to actually create a book and get it published on Amazon. Because listen, the entire point of this video and the entire point of learning about how to simplify publishing is to actually publish. So really no excuses to create a book as simple as the book that I've created here, or the book that I started here using word ladders that I just showed you inside of Canva. Create something you can be proud of, publish it, and then let's see what happens. Because at the end of the day, if you're not publishing, you're not a publisher. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Typewriter right here. Click that typewriter, subscribe to the channel. More awesome videos here. Click those, keep watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.